Hi guys, welcome to Gadget First. Today we're taking a closer look at the Antec One case. This is the full review. If you haven't watched the unboxing and first look at the Antec One, then I recommend you go see that. I'll put a link in the video. So we're just taking a closer look at this now. Basically, here it is. It's Antec's first entry-level case. They've usually made mainstream and quite high quality cases, so this is their first entry-level case, and we think they've done a pretty good job here. This will be aimed at people who are new to building gaming PCs. Might be your first computer, whether it's a gaming PC or not. It doesn't really matter. It might be your first PC, and it might appeal to you because it looks pretty nice with the finish here, the convex look here. We've got like quite sleek lines, nice glossy black front, and like quite a good looking mesh, so it might appeal more than some of those other budget cases that are a little bit cheaper but don't look quite as good. Another thing you've got to bear in mind is that a lot of companies sell budget cases for around 25 quid that come with power supplies. I really can't recommend those cases because the cases are usually made out of like really cheap plastic, and the power supplies are probably bound to blow up within a few months. So let's take a look at the Antec One. Alright, so on this side we have room for what looks like it's 120, I'll just check that. I think it's 120mm fan. And on top we've got another 120mm fan, which is an exhaust. Right. So there's two fans included. Up here is the 120mm top exhaust fan. If I turn it around, move the sound out of the way. On the back we have another 120mm case fan, which is also an exhaust. And there's room for one 120mm fan on the front. I'll just show you this. There you go, it goes at the bottom there, there's room for a 120mm fan, and on the bottom there's room for either a 120 or 140mm intake fan. Depending on how much space you have below the bottom, it might not be useful because you might be just sucking up from the carpet. It sounds dreadful, which probably wouldn't be that useful. Right then, let's open the case up. Actually, I'll just show you this. Just undo the thumb screws. Take that off. This is a little bit tight actually because I have a non-modular power supply, so obviously all the leads have to be routed through here. So it gets quite tight. Find that that catches on something up there, which makes it a little bit harder to take off. There you go. This shape here makes it really easy to route your cables, and because it's a budget case you wouldn't really expect too much cable management area, but that really does help that. So that's brilliant, and you've got a nice large cutout, so you can always put on the biggest CPU heat sinks. Sorry about that guys, just lost too much space on the memory card there. Another thing to note is that you've got side mounted 3.5-inch drives here for hard drives and other drives that are 3.5-inch. So it's quite easy to mount them in, you just take off the side and they go in. It's all toolless as well. Basically you have two little things that press into the side of the hard drive where you usually put screws. You just push it in, it clips on, which is really nice and easy. So on the front here we have two USB 3 drives, which will come in handy if you have drives such as USB keys that are compatible with USB 3 speeds. It is about 10 times faster than the old USB 2, so you will notice some good speed increases if you have any USB 3 compatible devices. It's also backwards compatible, so that if you've got USB 2 devices, they'll also work just at USB 2 speeds. You've also got headphone outputs there and a microphone input. We've got the BIOS reset button. As I've already said on the unboxing and first look, it's quite recessed before it clicks, so it doesn't minimises the chance of just accidentally deleting your BIOS. Nice big power button there, and room for 3 5¼ inch drives here. So let's open this up and have a look at the inside. Really nice metal. It's not completely thin. I mean, it's obviously thinner than cases that are double the price, but it's not too bad considering the price. Right then, so in here you can see I have a G-Lid GX7 CPU cooler. It's quite a big cooler and it comes out right to the extremities of the case. It's complete butt against the side, but because of the like extrusion on the case side, it doesn't really matter too much. So you can fit quite big CPU coolers in here. I'm not sure if you'd fit a Noctua, like the biggest one in there, but you might be able to at a push. There's room for dual card configurations with cards up to 10.5 inch, so you've got quite a good range of cards that could go in there. I've currently got 2 AMD 6850s in there, the gigabyte versions, in crossbar. That's the 140mm fan intake you can have there, 120 or 140, so pretty damn nice. I've currently got an ATX motherboard in here, but it also supports micro ATX. Another thing to note is the tallest drive bays for the 5¼ inch drives there. They're slightly different to how the hard drive mounting works. Basically, you just put it in the front, and then it automatically just clips in. You get to a point, and this clips. You can also pull this forward. Yeah, pull it forward, and then you can push it back out again. It's pretty nice there. The metal all down here is nice and folded, so you don't get any sharp edges like you do on some budget cases. Overall, this just feels like a really well built. Sorry, I've lost my words. A really well built case. Now, what about expansion? We have 7 expansion slots here, and a nice bottom mounted power supply. I like to see this on cases. I have to zoom out. There we go, 7 expansion slots. I'm using 4 of them. Bottom mounted power supply. There's room for 2 little bits for water cooling. Although if you're going to use water cooling, you probably wouldn't use this case, to be perfectly honest. It's a bit too small for having a complete loop setup. So you'd rather, you're probably more likely to have an internal water cooling kit like Corsair H100 or another one like that, closed loop. So I'm not sure why they've included that, but it gives you the option anyway. Right, down here. Just see if it's on camera. Yeah. Down here you have a filter for the power supply. So I have my power supply mounted with the fan facing downwards, sucking up air. So that can get quite filled with dust. I shook this one out about 10 minutes ago, and quite a bit of dust came out. So, but it makes it really easy to clean it out. Really nice and convenient. Now, I received this case from Antec directly, and before I received it I was using Antec's 300, the original one. Brilliant case for the price. This one comes at a little bit more expensive, and it's a little bit smaller as well. It certainly looks a bit nicer. There's more sleek lines, the extrusions make it look a little bit more aggressive and quite cool. So it's definitely a better looking case. As for cooling performance, the Antec 300 is probably slightly better. This runs about only literally a couple of degrees warmer than my Antec 300 system, but still, you're paying a little bit more, so I would expect a little bit better cooling performance, but nevertheless this is a brilliant case, and the cooling performance isn't too bad either. Another thing that I wanted to mention was that Antec didn't include any SSD mounts, 2.5-inch mounts for SSDs, but in the press release it says that you would get 2.5-inch mounts with it, so I think that if you actually did buy this case, then you would get mounts for SSDs. Basically it requires one screw, that's it, the rest of it is completely screwless, so it's quite cool. Nevertheless, you've got 5 hard drive spaces here and 3 5.25-inch bays there. Everything is toolless, so it's really brilliant. Now Antec have always been about high quality products, so what they've said is that they'll include a 3-year warranty with this case, which is really impressive actually. Just shows that they're committed to the quality that they claim. So there you have it guys, that's our review on the Antec One. Really brilliant case. Looks brilliant, is a great value. I found this at about £45. You can probably get it for even less now. The RRP is $59, but I don't know how that translates into British pounds at the moment because it's constantly changing. But yeah, I've seen this for around £45, and if you're lucky you might be able to get it for about 40. So really brilliant case, really impressed with this. I'd like to say thank you to Antec for sending this out to us, and we'll have some more reviews coming up. The CPU cooler you saw inside this case, we'll have a review for that soon, but in the meantime, thanks for watching and we'll see you soon.